Hey guys, I'm Mrs. Schultz. I'm going to be going over some ACT strategies with you to help you prepare for the ACT that's coming up on April 19th. Some background information on the ACT. It tests you in 4 different subject areas: English, math, reading, and science. English, you have 45 minutes to answer 75 questions. Math, you have 60 minutes to answer 60 questions. Reading, you have 35 minutes to answer 40 questions. In science, you have 35 minutes to answer 40 questions. Scores range from 1 to 36. A 21 composite score qualifies you for the Hope Scholarship, and a 21 composite score is also the school goal for the ACT. When you get your scores back, you'll see whether or not you reach benchmark on each of the subject areas. Benchmark means that you are 75% likely to make a C or higher in your introductory college courses. To reach benchmark in English, you have to get an 18. That means that you're getting 41 out of 75 questions correct. For math, the benchmark is 22, which is 32 questions out of 60 correct. Reading is also a 22 for benchmark. That means you're getting 24 out of 40 questions correct. In science, the benchmark is the highest of all of them. It's a 23, and it means you're getting 24 out of 40 questions correct. If you get benchmark in every single subject area, your composite score is an overall 21. For the English section, here's some information you should know. It's composed of 5 different readings, and each reading has 15 questions, and you have a total of 45 minutes to complete it. It's an editing test, so your goal is to make your 5 passages complete, consistent, clear, and concise. And there are 2 different question types. There's usage and mechanics, which focuses on punctuation, grammar, and sentence structure, and then rhetorical skills, which is about strategy, organization, and style. Some things that you should know to help you get some answers correct: colons, dashes, and semicolons must have a complete sentence in front of them. Semicolons must be followed by a complete sentence. Colon and dashes do not have to be followed by a complete sentence. Break down questions into keywords to help you identify what you should be trying to do. And then when you're editing the passages, pick the most concise answer choice. For the math section, this is the hardest because you have to memorize your formulas. There are 60 problems to do in 60 minutes, and here's the breakdown of those problems. Integrating essential skills is 25 questions. These concepts you learned in 3rd through 8th grade. It's a lot of percentages, ratios, things like that. It's just been a long time since you've gone over that material, so you may not remember how to do it, but if you look over it, you're going to get those questions right. There are 5 questions over number. There are 8 questions focused on algebra, 16 on functions and geometry, so you should know your area formulas, formulas for a circle. And then the last of a problem is statistics and probability. That's 6 problems. When you do the math section, you should do 2 separate passes through the test. The first pass, work the problems you know how to do immediately. The second pass, work the problems that will take more time to complete, just because it might be more reading or you know how to do it. It's just going to take you a little while to work through it. Questions are typically in order of complexity, so that means that numbers 1 through 20 are going to be the easiest, 21 through 40 is going to be medium difficulty, and then 41 through 60 are going to be your harder problems, and that's problems that you're learning in advanced math. So you should just focus on the number of problems you need to get correct to meet your goal score. For the reading passage, there are 4 different readings, and they are each 10 questions, and you have 35 minutes to do them. They are always in the following order. First is prose, so that's going to focus on plot, the exposition, conflicted development, setting, mood, character, tone, and style. Your second passage is social science. That's focusing on names, dates, cause and effect, tone, social, and controversies. Humanities, that's your third passage. It's going to focus on contemporary, historical, artistic context, tone, biography, and historical. And natural science is going to be the 4th passage. This focuses on problems, solution, verifiable facts, scientific theories, and cause and effect. You should not do the passages in order 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to save the split passage for last. That's where it has an A-B reading, and you're going to have to compare in those 2 readings to get some answers, so it's going to take a lot more thinking. Go in order of your interest for the passages. So if you love science, you should do the 4th passage first. If you're really interested in psychology, sociology, then look at the second and third passage and pick one of those to do. When you're doing the reading section, you should just scan over the passage initially. You want to read the first and last sentence of the introductory paragraph, the first sentence of all the middle paragraphs, and then the first and last sentence of the last paragraph. That's going to give you a good general idea of what's going on, so you can go straight to the questions. The last section is the science section. You have 40 questions in 35 minutes. The science section is going to have 6 to 7 passages, and there are 3 different passage types. The first type is graphs and charts. It's made of mostly charts, graphs, and tables. There's very little reading. You want to do that type of passage first. The second type is comparing experiments. This has a summary of 2 to 4 studies, and there's about 50% charts and 50% reading. You can recognize these because they have an italicized heading that says Experiment 1, Experiment 2, or Study 1, Study 2. Conflicting viewpoints, that is the final type of passage. There's only ever one of these. There's rarely any graphs involved in it, and it's lots of reading. So that's why you want to save it for last. When you take the science section, don't waste time reading the passages. You want to glance at your charts, graphs, and tables to identify the data. So look at the axes, look at what the table headings are, and then go straight to the questions. There's 3 different question types they'll focus on. One is scientific method for purpose, procedure, methods, and results. They'll ask you to interpret figures, which is gleaning information from a chart, graph, or table, so know about trends. And then scientific reasoning, they'll ask you to predict, synthesize, or analyze information. If you need help preparing for the ACT, there are tutoring sessions that will be offered during the month of April. On Mondays, you will have English and reading offered by Ms. Hodge in room 428. On Tuesdays, you will have math, and that's from Miss Centered, and she will be in room 118. And on Wednesdays, science will be offered in room 224. And then the 18th, the day before the ACT, all subject areas will be available for tutoring in the Upper Media Center. Tutoring sessions are offered in the morning from 7:30 to 8:10, and after school from 3:30 to 4:30. Good luck as you're preparing to take the ACT on April 19th.